Today we are talking about manifesting generators. So I did a little error. I didn't have my mic on before, and that's why I would have come up and disappeared. Manifesting generators. So manifesting generators are here to show us the possibilities of the different things that we can do on this planet. They're here to do things differently. They do not operate in a linear pathway. They go all over the place. And that's the way that they're designed to. So the thing about manifesting generators is growing up, they may have been told to stick to one thing, like stop doing all the things and just focus on one thing. That's not how manifesting generators are designed to operate. They are multi-passionate. They can do multiple things at once. Multitask, but as a manifesting generator, multitasking doesn't really work for me. I like to have a lot of different things on the go, but focus on one thing at a time. That's me. Manifesting generator. Manifesting generators, they do love to do a lot of things. They are here to do things differently, and they are not linear. So if you are a manifesting generator and you feel like you've started all these projects and you haven't finished them and you feel like a bit of a loser, let that go. Let it go. You are not designed to complete everything you start. When you start something, it's likely that you go at it like a bull at a gate. You get what you need from the activity that you do. So whether that's the start of the project or you get it all the way to here, you've got the skills you need or the knowledge you need at that point, and then you can move on. So it's not that you haven't finished the project, it's that you got what you needed from it. Okay, so let's take a chance to reframe that. It's not that you're leaving things undone, you've got what you needed from that project. And that shift, when I got that knowledge, it was like, oh, okay, I'm a winner because I'm losing. I'm not losing. I am gaining all these skills with each new project that I take on. And the other thing for manifesting generators to know, which gave me a huge sense of relief, not every project has to make money. You can do some things just for the love of it. Okay, so I have in my head, I'll get an idea and then I'm like, yep, okay, let's do that. And like that will make money this way, this way, this way, and this way. And yes, I get so caught up in the making the money that it loses the joy. And so if you're doing things just for the joy of doing them, that is of benefit to a manifesting generator, because like the generator, we need that battery to be recharged by doing what we love, and doing what we love regenerates that energy. Hey, Karen. So that's the manifesting generator. Now, the manifesting generator is a hybrid of the generator and the manifester. So we do have that response mechanism. That's the way that we interact with the universe. Primarily, that generator energy is responding with the universe. And I spoke the other day about how I'm quite a noisy, quiet person. So when I'm into something, you will hear and probably not so much if I'm not into anything. I'm not so vocal on the but I will lean back, or I just know I get uncomfortable with things that I'm not into. And so with the manifesting generator, with the responding, like I talked about the other day, it's like you're an inbound center. Everything's coming at you, whether it's a billboard, whether it's an email, whether it's a conversation, whether it's something you hear on a podcast, whether it's something you see in an ad on TV, whether it's a character you see in a movie. All those things can be, they are influences coming into you, and what lights you up what piques your interest about those things, that's the thing that you want to pay attention to. And then the informing part of the manifesting generator is when you get that urge, when you've had the response and you've got an urge to move something forward, you are then informing the people who are going to be impacted by your decisions, by your actions, that, hey, this is what I'm doing, letting you know, not asking for permission. So manifestors and manifesting generators are not asking for permission. Generators, you don't need to ask for permission either, because you're in response. So you are doing what your body's telling you to do. So the whole thing about human design is letting go of external authority and actually tapping into your internal authority, your sovereignty, because we are all sovereign beings and we all have the knowledge within us and the authority within us. And human design gives you the mechanics of your specific authority. So for me, I have the emotional authority. My information is going to be processed through my emotional wave before I come to a decision. And that's come to a decision that I won't regret. I can make decisions all day long without using my emotional authority. It's just that they're not going to necessarily be the best decisions for me. With our sacral authorities, doing what lights them up, leaning into what gives them the gut yes or the gut no, leaning away from that. You've got the authority. You don't have to ask permission from anyone for you to do what is right for you. It's not, we're moving into a new era, a new age of the way that we operate, because we're now given the tools and the knowledge of how to operate as a individual, as a singular identity, which is really exciting, really empowering, but also really scary when we've been taught all this time that you need permission from someone. Your parents, when you're a baby, the first word you learn is no, right? You hear, I heard this, I actually researched this a couple of years ago, how many times you hear no versus yes growing up as a child. And it's like you're going to hear probably 80, like an 80-20, you're going to hear 80% more no's than the yeses. And that actually is to keep us safe. So it's no, don't touch that. No, don't cross that road. No, stop. Look where you're going. That sort of thing. We're programmed with the no's to keep us safe. And what we're given here with human design is the tools to manage ourselves, to understand how we operate, how we interact with the universe, and to actually have that be dialed in to that direct connection to source. So we have that direct connection and we've never been told about it, but it's been there all along. And so what lights me up is helping people know this and understand it and how to utilize it in a practical way in their life. So back to manifesting generators, we respond and inform when the informing is appropriate. Primarily it's a response mechanism. And then we use our authority to make our decisions that we're not going to regret. So with manifesting generators, like the generators, it's going to be either an emotional authority or a sacral authority, because those are the two centers that will be active, and the emotional authority takes precedence over the sacral authority if you do have that emotional center defined. Having said that, that sacral authority, that sacral response is going to be a lot of the information that comes into your emotional information that gets processed. So that's something else to consider. And then the other energy types are going to have more different authority types, because the non-sacrals won't have that sacral response, and 50% of the population or 51% of the population have the emotional center defined, which takes me into a little tangent about how we are moving from a head-centered making logical decisions into more of an emotional center, making the decisions, and that real transition is happening in 2027, and that is some information that you can pin and think, oh, like what will happen in 2027, and then see if it comes to pass, see what changes we see in 2027. I'm not saying this is gospel. I'm saying human design is an experiment, and let's pin some information and see how it plays out. Like I come back to 2012 and how in the Mayan calendar that was determined to be the end of the world as we know it. People took that as the end of the world and left the final bit of the sentence off. But what I can see from 2012 to now is that there has been a huge shift in the way that we do things. And when I think about technology, and I think back to when I was in school and Beyond 2000 was a show, and how we imagined we were going to have flying cars and clothing that had disc players and music playing and would be automatically fitting, and how what we've got is phones that are computers in our hands, and we're able to do all these things that make life really easy, but it hasn't been what we imagined it would be. And so that's what 2012 is for me, and also 2027. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And I did the same thing in 2020, had my opinion on how things were and how they played out as being interesting. All right, so that's it from me today. Tomorrow I will be back talking about projectors. All right, so you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.